Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and today I thought I'd just take a look at whether or not you should pull for Agatha. At the time of uploading this video, she should be out or just about to come out, and so I thought I'd kind of just give my thoughts on whether or not someone should pull. Now, from my own perspective, as someone who has started playing this game on the day of release, I've already got basically two good main teams kind of coming together. I've got Saphia, and I got like Inanna, I got Coco, I've got August. And I got a bunch of the other, I got the entire full union with Gloria, Simone, and all of them. So that's kind of one team. And then I kind of have the second team just being a bunch of really good units. So I have like Beryl, I have Edda. And so my teams are starting to solidify really well to the point that getting more DPS is not as necessary. But one thing that Agatha does have, and this is something from the CN side, now we already know they're kind of changing things up with how we see events are working. So this may not be as relevant, but I fully expect it to be. And that is that right now we have our like top tier units for the DPS, whether you want to revolve around Saphia or August. Now, one big thing that happened on the CN side is they had Tower of Adversity start adding in stuff that really made them not very good. So it was kind of a counter to their strengths. And it was one area that Agatha was really good at. And so it kind of brought her up on the tier just because she got a lot of value out of that difficult content because she was one that could do it quite well over them. And a lot of it has to do with basically having that Wolf Blood Awakening and taking advantage of wound, or her little wound buff there. And it's just kind of different to how August and Saphia work. And now I'm not going to go over her entire kit here. I actually have another video. I'll post it in the description when I go over her kit if you want to actually see everything on her and how she works. But so my thoughts are, if you've been around and you've kind of got your team solidifying, I think she's an easy skip just because we have another unit that's going to be coming up that to me is a must pull, and to me one of the last must pulls, because I haven't done all the videos on the current future units. None of them really feel like must pulls after Terror. Now, Terror is a unit that just like Coco, he's an amazing support unit. He's not going to get power crept anytime soon, and he's going to fit within just about any team you have. While with DPSs like Agatha, you're always going to have more DPSs coming out. And so if you don't get Agatha, we'll have alternate Raliwa coming up, possibly next, we don't know, or we have, or even the newer units that are under the mage groups, you have those ones that can fit into the same capacity as well. And so there's just always going to be new DPSs coming out. And you can kind of say the same thing with support, because we have alternate Saphia, which I'll be covering soon, and she is an alternate, she is a support, but even she doesn't like surpass the value that someone like Terra and Coco has. She's just an addition to your other teams that can make them a little bit better. But so far, everything I have seen, I have not seen another must pull like Terror. So this is the point where if you don't have, or you only have about enough for a guarantee, so if you have 180 pulls, I say you basically want to skip Agatha because she is not a must pull unless she's a character that you really like. And then you just wait until Terror comes out. You make sure to get Terror. And then after that, it's really going to be just up to whether you want the character or not. To me, it's not going to be as important, especially if you've been starting since the beginning of the game, because your teams are starting to get solidified. Now, if you have more than 180 pulls, that's where I feel like you can. And I think she'll be worth it if you get lucky and get her early. So like I think I have maybe like 200 and some pulls. I do plan to put a few pulls into her banner. Just maybe like 10, 20, 30 pulls. See if I get lucky. If I don't get her. No harm, no foul. But the biggest thing is I want to make sure I can guarantee Terror. And so that would be my advice. If she's someone that you want, but you want to make sure you can get Terror, the same situation like I'm in, just go ahead and bring yourself down to guarantee at about 180 pulls. You can maybe go a little bit lower, go into like 170, 160-ish, because you should be able to accumulate the remaining pulls needed to guarantee him over that time period. Just know 180 is your guarantee. And so it's kind of tough. I wouldn't really want to take that risk. And that's kind of my plan as well, since I don't really spend on the game now. I've been kind of doing a little too much of that on Girls Frontline, so kind of cut back on this. So I'm really having to conserve my pulls a lot more now. And I think a lot of other people are as well, just because you've got your team set, so you don't really feel that need. And then after you get Terror, it'll be just go for whoever you want at that point. I don't really, a lot of good DPSs, and it's just going to be whatever your flavor of combat style is going to be the choice from there. But like I had said before, after Agatha, we don't truly know. It definitely looks like they will most likely bring out a Knight Crimson unit after her because we're getting that expansion now. So I very easily see them bringing out some of those units before we get to Terror. So you might want to look into I've covered a couple of them in the videos, especially the ones that I would think would come out first. I'm almost certain that the first one they do for the Knight Crimson will be the alternate Raiwa, just because she kind of seems like the staple for doing that, seeing as she's kind of that banner character from the beginning, like the main, almost like the MC to an extent, not the MC, but like the poster child alongside Mathia and them. So I could see her easily coming out next, and then we have to kind of see whether if they're going to. Now, I've seen there's an event dealing with, or not event, but like story coming out on Shaq Lulu, and Shaq Lulu was the unit in Cian that I believe came out before Agatha, so we actually might have a little while until Terra comes out. So that does put you kind of in a pinch, and it's the same thing for me. It's like I do not want to miss Terra, and I mean that's the same reason why I'm skipping Karis, and that's why I'm gonna be skipping Agatha. And I mean, if alternate Raiwa comes out, it's going to be another, oh my goodness, maybe I'll do like a pull or two, or a 10 pull or two, just barely bring myself under that 180, see if I can get lucky. But I definitely do not want to lose that guarantee on Terror. But so you kind of have to think about those units too, because it's going to be, I think they're trying to get people to pull on these newer units that are really good so that you can't guarantee Terror because they know that he's going to be something that everybody's going to want to throw at. And thus, if you don't have the pulls, it's a one way that they could potentially get people to want to spend. Because I think it is really the last area that that pressure is going to be on. I mean, I don't really see that with any of the units after. I mean, they're not saying they're bad. They're really good. But we've had enough time to build up teams. It's kind of the same situation. Like I'm in Honkai Star Rail. Yes, we have power creep coming out. We have some really good units coming out in that game, but I haven't felt the pressure to pull on them at all because, I mean, I have my solid team in sort of Convallaria. I have Akron, I have my Firefly team, I have my Dot team. I can pretty much cover all content at this point. So now I get to be picky on who I want and whether I want to go into, like it's a Honkai Star Rail example, if I want to really go into that summoning group with Remembrance, I can choose to either go into it or I can choose not to. I mean, I don't really need any of them. It's more, and that's kind of the way sort of Convallaria is at this point. Do you need these units or do you not? Or do you want them? But yeah, that pretty much covers everything with her. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. I'm going to try and get out this weekend my look at alternate Sephia, and then I have another one of the units, but I want to basically get the rest of the Knight Crimson units covered at least since that expansion's coming. So hopefully I get both of those out this weekend, if not this weekend, the next weekend. And then after that, we'll start looking at the mage group. So I'm kind of looking, instead of trying to get all the units out like I originally had planned, I think I'm going to wait till announcement of expansion to start going into the kits of the mages. Just because I don't think, I mean, giving so far ahead of a preview doesn't seem to help right now on the decision making. Because once we get, like I've said, once we get past Terror, I think it's decision making's less is necessary in terms of saving. You just kind of want to look at who you think's cool at this point. And so I'm going to just wait till after I finish the rest of the Knight Crimson units. I'm going to wait until the announcement of the Mage expansion, which that might be a couple months. I'm not sure how long it'll take. And then at that point, I'll start going through those units. And then whatever the next expansion after that, I'll do the same process with that. And I think it'll work quite well because now I'm trying to cover like 3 to 4 games. So I have to try and alternate through them. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.